Hey everybody, you are tuning in, ruffling some papers there, tuning in to the Free Matt podcast. I am Matt Freemat. I didn't call it the Fremont podcast, or Padcast. Yeah, the Padcast. It's official, folks. We are no longer the Triggered Chauncey Snowflake Hour. We are officially the women's issues roundtable discussion
What?
hour. Yeah.
What are you throwing me into?
We're sponsored by Always. No.
Better than Vagisil.
Sponsored by Kotex.
Better than Vagisil.
I will say this much about panty liners. And a lot of people don't remember the super absorbency panty liners. If you ever get shot, it says you can slap one of them babies on there, and it may or may not save your life.
Don't they work for a broken nose too? Or,
Yeah.
Or is that a tampon?
Look, tampons.
Okay.
But the thing is, yes, I'm not joking. I've been told that, and I was told that actually by Army people. And they're like,
Well, that makes sense.
like super absorbency panty liners were like, you get shot in like the artery in your leg, and you're like, you got a chick with you, and hope she's got panty liners because you just duct tape that sucker to that wound, dude, and
Run to the hospital.
Because, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to work. I'm not saying shoot yourself and figure it out. I mean, no. If you're a complete moron, if you're a complete moron, I want you to shoot yourself.
That sounds like sound advice, ladies and gentlemen. Shoot yourself and figure it out.
I want you to thin out. the population a little bit. You know, one out of it, 10,000 people. To get sued by somebody like Matt Freeman told my son to shoot himself to see if he could stop the bleeding. Like you Chaunceys. You fail. Just fail. Evolutionary fail. Like you're like the people won't pick your knuckles off the ground when you walk. Look. You know, oh yes, when we had that dangerously stupid segue, not only are we not sponsored by Always, to my constitutional right.
Ah!
Yes, thank you. To my constitutional right is the one and only General Patrick Flynn.
Hey guys, decaffeinated but highly masturbated. Let's get this show on the road.
Oh man, where are we gonna go with that? Where?
Hopefully not the bathroom.
Did I tell you guys I miss the 90s?
Oh, there are times when I do. Times.
I'm like the town crazy person now. It's like snowflakes and crazy. It's the people that should be the crazies, and you people are like, well, yeah, you people, you heard me right. What do you mean? What do you mean, you people?
Jigs.
SGWs. You're snowflakes. Oh, in news, we have, no guys, I wanted to insert unrelated, and this is not even a segue, this is like abrupt, wanted to insert a joke about, on the Flynn News Daily yesterday, and that was, FlynnNewsDaily.net, and this was by, Chauncey LaRue, who wrote, homeschool shooting in, Missouri, homeschool shooting, 1 dead, 3 feared missing. No, that's not true. That's, you're like, what?
In a homeschool.
Homeschool shooting?
What?
No, they don't
like,
even,
has there ever been a homeschool shooting ever?
Yeah, but I imagine they just call it domestic violence.
Yeah.
Because it's like, there's not enough people. It's not important enough. It didn't bleed enough to lead. How about that?
Yeah, it didn't fit the narrative.
If it bleeds, it leads. But it doesn't.
I thought it
bleed
breeds, but
no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't. You know, it's not. You know, snazzy enough to be on the front page news. It was like Flynn News Daily, which is made up. If you ever figure that one out, you chicken shits. Anyway.
dumbass.
All right, folks. We're looking at a array of new subjects. I actually had to write notes, and we had to digest some of this. It's a relatively large article regarding.
I don't know if digest is the right word. Maybe choke on's a better word.
Yes. Regarding we're delving further into the Trump era tariffs, and talking about trade measures and things like that.
Not to be confused with Dick Measure, although it feels like the same thing.
Richard Measure thing. Somewhere there's a guy named Richard Measure. He's like, so funny. I can't call myself Dick now. But, although I had a coworker who used to play basketball with Richard Breath. And he said he was a nice guy. His name was Richard Breath. I'm like, Dick Breath? He says, yeah. He says, I'm not lying. He's not the kind of guy who would lie to me. He's like, yeah, Richard. He went by Richard.
Huh.
I'm like, grow up a dick, just... Which would be, I mean, like, if you got really good friends, man, I wouldn't let that off the hook. I'd probably own it.
Yeah.
I'd own it. I'd be like,
you'd have to own it.
oh,
Because if not, you'd go in a mental institution
I
with the
wake
people
up every day and I got dick breath. Because I am.
with the people that we know.
Yeah. Ah, you fucker. You're like, let me get out of my system. There we go. You're like, one good day of laughing. Like, it's kind of the rule.
Yeah.
Like, I knew a girl whose last name was Dees. D-E-A-S. And I'm like, Dees? Like, and she goes, yes, like Dees nuts. And I was like, how long do I get to laugh at that? She just looks at me and I'm like, no, man, I'm probably only going to be able to laugh at that for like a little bit.
She should have said D's tits or D's boobs, something.
She's a pretty cool person. And I told her, oh, you're pretty cool about it. She's like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, but I don't get like the rest of my life laugh. I mean, it's pretty good,
Yeah, yeah.
She was, yeah, I've heard that. I always heard that in school. And I'm like, yeah, but if you really like somebody, it wouldn't be a continuous thing.
Not a continuous thing, but definitely, every 4 or 6 months
There's
you got
a sunset rule on
I'd say every 4 to 6 months you just kind of reintroduce it just as a reminder, and then let it go, and then you know what I mean? Because you never want them to forget it. Anyway, on the tariffs.
Oh, Lord. Not only are we looking at that, even though we've already passed the omnibus spending bill, article about Rand Paul and my libertarian spin on the libertarian commentary. Like Max Headroom for any of you chodes that may or may not remember that from Back to the Future 2. I think he was in there.
I think you're right. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh, Lord. You talk about Rand Paul, who's no relation to Max Headroom. Rand Paul, his neighbor beat the piss out of him when he was out working in the yard.
Somebody did, yeah. Like, you're not kidding. They beat the holy hell out of him.
I'm not saying he deserves it.
Which tells me he's actually the one guy in Congress doing something right.
It was like, yeah, it was pretty bad. Now he's out there working the yard or something. Two really good ones. And yeah, this, comments taken from article in the New York Times, and this was March 22nd, handful of days ago. It's still true. Comments still. It's a continuous, guys. It's a continuous thing we need to look at. It's not one of those stories that's just going to be buried. There's always adjustments, and there's always days later something else comes up. Somebody actually learned to write a freaking story and put some good information in it. Because I'm a little more than this short-sighted garbage. I do read economics. I used to read the Wall Street Journal. No, it doesn't mean I'm special. It means I can freaking read. Anyway,
But in Lawrence County, that might make you special.
let's get off the illiteracy wagon. Like I should have gone off your mother. No. I gotta miss the old mother.
Unless that mother was Lisa Ann, because then I'd still be on it.
You mean
she's back performing, by the way.
Sarah Palin?
She is back. Well, I don't know about Sarah Palin, but
she was nailing Palin.
I know that, but I just don't want to make
Not
the connection of Palin and Lisa Ann, because Lisa Ann is so much better. But yeah, she's back performing.
I'd actually just take her out for a steak dinner. I'm dead serious.
Any way, shape, or form, I would like to actually just have, instead of like a meet and greet, actually just chill with her.
I believe it. I'm shaking my head, guys. We don't have a camera feed on right now or anything. So shaking my head like here, like you know what I'm doing. Yeah, shaking my head. Yeah, making this dopey look on my face. Yeah. Hey guys. Wow. Wow. Oh, yowzers. All right, back to the story.
We never started this story. How do we get back to something we never started?
New York Times, Trump hits China with stiff trade measures. Not a dick joke, thank you. Not a Stormy Daniels joke. Thank you. Fist bump. Thank you, guys. It was written by Mark Landler and Jim Tankersley. We'll hit the highlights here instead of the lowlifes. President Trump put China squarely in his crosshairs on Thursday, and that was a bit ago, imposing tariffs on as much as $60 billion worth of Chinese goods to combat the rising threat from a nation that the White House has called an economic enemy. All right, folks. Big faux pas. And yes, I might interject my comments. It's all about the comments here. It's all about my feels.
Fuck your feels.
I'm triggered. I'm out crying and putting fake blood all over me. It's under the current framework of the WTO, the World Trade Organization. We're both members. China is we bring our trade complaints to them. They're not an economic enemy. When you start making economic enemies, you get things like the Smoot-Hawley.
The Depression tariffs?
The tariffs that created the Depression.
The Smoot-Hawley wars, yeah.
And if you have a beef, we have a framework to deal with it now. And I'm like, yes, it's not easy. It's not, America.
Fuck yeah!
It's not like that. But, anyway, plenty of things. Oh, Lord. It talks about, saying, I'll go through the hits and misses here. It talks about, we're losing billions in revenue and lost American jobs and what have you. Obviously, scared trade war, and we're dropping the S&P by a bunch. It says they're taking action in retaliation for the use of pressure, intimidation to obtain American technology and trade secrets. Oh, Lord. Look, in their country, it's ongoing. They're a little hint from Matt Freeman here. Dealing with economic issues and their country, a falling of communism in their country, and the legal environment that they have is in its infancy, and it's a foreign idea, and their government, and not just the legal people, but their government itself, and this is the big party members also it's a new thing to them, and going to the World Trade Organization would make more sense because a third-party arbiter would be able to straighten this out, and even possibly reframing our complaints about things like their legal world. They have to own 50% of the business to be involved with it. Things like that, or hey, we're the people who need to control the technology and stuff like that. They're protecting themselves and it's always known in I'm not going to say a centrally planned world, but their philosophy is to take care of China. They are China first, but it's out of like an internal protection type feeling to it. A lot of people don't know that. That's why a lot of the 50% of the business has to be Chinese, or you have to grease the local union. Like they have a workers union you got to deal with. They have a local knucklehead you have to deal with, and I'm not hateful, but they're protecting China, and it's not that they're prejudiced against us, but it makes more sense right now, guys, to not grandstand and make this, rah, 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 MAGA, make America great again.
MAGA.
There are trade-offs, and a lot of the reasons why we haven't been jumping at a lot of the things that we have beef with China is because there's a play involved, like in the South China Sea, territorial disputes and stuff that it's really a pain in the ass to deal with. We kind of look the other way with your like currency manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of look the other way. Like it's a rapport you build with people. You don't, it's like the local drug dealer. You borrow money from him and you don't start griping that he slaps his girlfriend. I'm dead serious. It's something you don't do. And we look the other way when they had some shenanigans, but it's a process, guys. And to jump and just say, "You terrorists, ha ha, got you suckers," and I'm like, just no. Look, it might take us 2 years. We could get something hammered out. We get something hammered out. Like the case by case complaints with the WTO, like the tires and steel have been done before.
Mm-hmm.
with the Chinese, and that was with George W. Bush. It came through eventually, and they said yes, you can levy this amount of penalties on their products for this time. And the thing is, it's not. You're like, well, we want $1 trillion, and I'm like, it's not like that. You have to work with people. I'm not saying like, kumbaya.
Work with people. Wait a minute. Are you talking about actually trying to make a coercive effort here? And listening to other ideas?
We're signatories. We're members of the WTO. And it's something you gotta do. Look, it's not easy. It's the framework that the vast majority of the world, except for 2 or 3, rat hole countries, are even trying to deal with. And just, okay, let's deal with it. Back to the story. The president's actions fulfill his frequent campaign. Can't complain here.
Bullshit. I can complain a lot.
Campaign pledge to demand fairer trade deals with nations around the globe and to retaliate against trading partners if the United States does not secure better agreements. Here's the thing. When, we do have like regional treaties, like, about, not just NAFTA, but there are other like, America and Australia have a bilateral trade agreement together. A lot of people know that. And the thing is that we go to each other and we have problems. Australians, may or may not have a problem with, junk parts or parts. We're flooding their market with used tractor parts or something, and they, we have all these agreements and stuff. We go to them and we don't just start throwing bricks and stuff. And they're like, "Well, it's been a long time. You've never done anything." No, you bring the complaints to the WTO, and the thing is, it takes them a while, but they often say, under this, and you make your case. But anyway, guys, the whole thing is, retaliating is without that third party. The third party covers your ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best way I could say it. And the thing